Hi, welcome to the Secular Scriptures. I'm Gail, and today I have 10 reasons why people believe in God. So I was watching an atheist versus a theist debate a couple days ago, and the theist was predictably flummoxed while trying to offer proof of God to the atheist. It did end nicely, which isn't usually the case. No one got mad, and they all said nice talking to you at the end, which was quite refreshing. I very much enjoyed that. So this got me thinking about the various reasons of why people believe in a god or gods. We have 10 of them. The first one is dreams. This is probably the most common. Historically speaking, dreams have been considered a conduit between the living and the spiritual. Oftentimes people will have a dream when they're a child, and they will hold on to that dream almost as a type of prophecy for their lives. The second one is emotions, and this can range anything from fear all the way up through love. One of the most common emotional reasons to stay in a religion, aside from the sense of community, is the idea that a God loves you and values you, so that you have this abstract concept that you can relate to, that can relate to and know you when you feel that nothing else can. And that is very valuable. The third thing is family and cultural traditions. And this is probably the bulk of people who stay in religions their entire lives. When you're raised in a religion, chances are you are going to stay in that religion, especially if you have family or cultural ties. Many people will practice a religion without really believing in it because they just enjoy the traditions. It can give a type of structure to your life. There's a calendar of events that you can follow, so you know what you're going to do on a various day or even a time of day. The fourth one is, unfortunately, fear. So this can be a fear of being rejected by your community or even your family. So shunning is a big thing. A lot of times when people leave a religion, their religious family members will cut them off, or they feel like they have to cut off their religious family members. Social pressure is a big thing, and if you don't give the right social cues when a person who is a believer and in a position of power requires them, you may not get that job promotion. You may not get that business deal because you didn't give the right religious social cues. So a lot of people will stay in a religion for fear of economic harm. And then there's also death anxiety, which is really big for a lot of people, and religion is a very good answer to that. It offers the answers, and it offers very comforting answers because a lot of people don't want to die. They want to continue on. So it gives you an afterlife. This isn't the end. There's more to it than that. Number 5 is visions and voices. Crazy is not necessary for this to happen. I will hear a lot of atheists say, well, if you're hearing voices, you should talk to a doctor. Well, that's not necessarily true. Plenty of people will hear voices, and it's not a medical anything, whether it's a case of pareidolia, whether it's a case of having someone have a conversation that you take as a sign of the divine, where it's a real-world conversation, you're just applying it to your own life when it wasn't directed at you. Drugs. Number 6 is drugs. People will often use mind-altering substances to elicit spiritual experiences. An example of that is using peyote. Or you can have hallucinations on illicit drugs or even prescription drugs, and those can be spiritually life-altering experiences. Number 7 is stories. This goes for oral tradition and written tradition. And I'll use the example of Sunday school. When you are raised on stories of Noah's flood and the Eve and the apple and let the children come unto me, Jesus, okay? All of those things are going to play into your core memories and stay with you throughout your life. Number 8 is life-altering experiences or medical emergencies. Things like head trauma. can really change people's perceptions about the spiritual and belief. You can take a hardcore Christian and they'll become an atheist with a bonk on the head, okay? Or you can take an atheist and they have a stroke or something like that, and they'll go on a spiritual journey where they're seeking at that point because you have had a structural change in your brain. Any kind of medical illness or something like that can cause a person to either seek more spirituality or move away from spirituality. Number 9 is a personal event or spiritual experience. This can happen at any point to anyone, anywhere. Very common thing is for somebody to have a spiritual experience at a music concert. And this is one of the reasons why music is so commonly used in religious services, because it elicits those emotional responses in people and it can help you reach a spiritual state. But these things can happen in the back of a bus. These things happen. And number 10 is social pressure, which ranges from family to broader community to actual violence. There are countries where it is illegal to leave a particular religion.